of the entire TUM Speaker Series, I would like to welcome you all to today's event with the 2006 Nobel Peace Prize laureate, our guest, Professor Mohammed Yunus. Professor Yunus, I want to welcome you especially in the name of our entire team. It really is such an honor to have you here with us today. I'm glad also to have among us the Honorary Consul General of Bangladesh in Munich, Consul Dr. Prof. A warm welcome also to our Senior Vice President of TUM, Professor Claudia Pois. Thank you for being here. So without further ado, Professor Pois, we are looking forward to your opening remarks.
Dear ladies and gentlemen, dear students, it's such a pleasure to see so many of you here, and I know many more would have liked to come. I know it was very competitive, and you succeeded in being chosen for this event. So welcome. It's good to see a great interest and a great inspiration in the room. It's also obviously my great honor and pleasure to welcome our guest speaker, Nobel laureate Professor Yunus. Thank you so much for coming, taking the time. You're very busy, I know. Also, thank you very much to Dr. Prof for coming here and helping us maybe form connections that are even tighter. It was a wonderful event, and thank you so much for taking the time to be here. I think you have come to the right place, and I will explain why in a second. Before I do so, I want to give you a little bit of information on the TUM Speaker Series. The TUM Speaker Series is entirely chaired, organized, and initiated by students. And I have to admit, when I was first appointed as a professor here a little more than 8 years ago, I received an email from students asking me to support them in winning some of the world leaders to speak here. I thought it was spam. I honestly didn't think it would be possible that the students win world leaders to come here and speak, but they do, as we see today. We have had previous guests include Bill Gates, Kofi Annan, Tony Blair, Eric Schmidt, so real world leaders. And you as students have managed to attract them to come here and to discuss pressing societal issues, be it in politics, be it in climate change, be it in how do we do business. And I would like to thank the members of the TUM Business Club for organizing this and passing it on from generation to generation and making sure that TUM is able to attract those amazing leaders. Thank you so much to the students. So obviously today we have the pleasure of welcoming a real world leader, a thought leader, someone who has inspired so many. Professor Yunus has many roles in a sense. He is a professor, a social entrepreneur, a banker, an economist, and definitely a civil society leader. He's father of social businesses and microcredits. I think before his time we didn't even know that there was a possibility to create microcredits and what they could achieve. He has been receiving numerous awards, and I will not mention all of them to save the time. But I think what's important is that he has been named as one of the greatest entrepreneurs of our time. And as you know, in 2006, Professor Yunus and the Grameen Bank he founded received the Nobel Peace Prize for, I quote, the efforts through microcredits to create economic and social development from below, which is something that hadn't been thought of before. The Norwegian Nobel Committee laid out that lasting peace cannot be achieved unless large population groups find ways in which to break out of poverty. And I think that is very true still today, and I think that's something that we in the developed, so-called developed world sometimes forget. So I think we need to give thanks for Professor Yunus and his colleagues to remind us and to rethink I think Professor Yunus's achievements are hard to summarize, but I think one of them that I personally find very inspiring, very important, is to rethink the purpose of business, to rethink current business models. He challenged the assumption that, for example, Milton Friedman, a Nobel laureate in business economics, put out. He says, there is one and only one social responsibility of business: to use its resources and engage in activities designed to increase its profit, so long as it stays within the rules of the game. And I think you have shown us that we need to rethink this model, and that we need to rethink if and why and how we teach those models. And therefore, I'm particularly happy, speaking also as a professor at the School of Management, that you're here to inspire us and to challenge us. Of course, your work and also your academic work has led to the fact that you have received more than 55 honorary degrees from universities across 20 countries. But as Einstein phrased it, not everything that counts can be counted. I think the inspiration given to people, the fact that models have been rethought, the fact that countless people have been able to emerge from the worst levels of poverty, the fact that business leaders, political leaders all across the world have been challenged and inspired to rethink. I think that's the real contribution which we will probably never be able to fit into numbers. You've also, and particularly, inspired entrepreneurs, and I think we as the Entrepreneurial University value that in particular. We are the most active university in terms of entrepreneurship in all of Germany. We produce more than 70 startups each year. And of course, social entrepreneurship is one of the most important areas, and it has received more and more attention in the last couple of years. As some of you know, TUM is engaged in the so-called Social Entrepreneurship Academy. We have joined forces with our colleagues from Ludwig Maximilian University, also the University of the Armed Forces, and the University of Applied Sciences here in Munich to create the Social Entrepreneurship Academy and to facilitate teaching and thinking about social entrepreneurship. And that's, I think, a very important avenue to move us further. We believe that education is a key to societal change at every level, in any country. And therefore, we want to facilitate entrepreneurship, social entrepreneurship, even further. Overall, TUM seeks to tackle the grand societal challenges, including nutrition, including climate change, including energy. And we are connecting the research with the teaching, with the entrepreneurship, with some new activities, for example, in Africa. I'll give you one example. My colleague Frank Belz from the School of Management is engaging in a new project funded by the German Academic Exchange Service on energy supply as a trigger for economic development in Africa. So he is working with villages in Mali, and he is with his team visiting every 6 months in order to facilitate, in order to help them develop entrepreneurial activities to tackle the energy supply. So in a sense, that is social entrepreneurship, what he's doing there. And I'm very happy. This is a project that was funded, or he received the award 2 weeks ago. So this is very recent, and I think it's an important avenue. And very much in line with TUM's new Africa strategy to help facilitate the economic development, the technical development, and of course entrepreneurship in Africa. So with that, it is clear that all of us need to work together, all of us can work together to facilitate the development of society. And therefore I'm very honored, and it's my great pleasure to have Professor Yunus here as a leading example of responsible leadership, and highlighting again that we can achieve so much if we work together and if we rethink how we approach business, for example. So we all look forward to hearing him speak about how do we unleash social consciousness in all businesses. Thank you so much for coming, and now I look forward to hearing Professor Yunus.
Thank you. Thank you for this wonderful, very generous generous introduction. More so, thank you for giving a context within which I'll be speaking, where I come from, what makes me do things the way I did. I'm very happy to be in TUM today because it's such a leading institution, not only in Germany, throughout the world. And it's a young mind which always kind of excites me and gives me hope that maybe things will be better, not because what the older generations have done, but because what the young generation wants to make this world happen. I'll explain a little bit on this, but before I get carried on those subjects, I wanted to quickly mention that we will be all back again in June in Munich. We are having a big celebration here from June 26 to June 29. We call it Super Happiness Festival. The world is so gloomy, so terrible right now. We thought this is the time to celebrate the Super Happiness Festival. Because this is an issue that I've been raising through my work all through. While I'm extremely depressed and frustrated the direction the world is going, but I see light under the tunnel, at the end of the tunnel, that can be turned around, provided young people can stand up and do their own things rather than follow the old roads. Old road is the one which I always feel very scared about. And I'll tell you the story why I do that. So I see the whole ray of hope. And the celebration here that will make Munich as a location where we'll do the celebration, the whole world's enthusiasts on social business and all the things that we have done will be here. So this will be a great opportunity for you to interact with them, find out what is it that makes them so excited, super happy. Let me quickly also mention why do I say that super happy. I try to explain economic theory in one sentence. I said, making money, which Milton Friedman would say, making money may be happiness, but making other people happy is a super happiness. So if you're looking for a cause why you want to make other people happy, this is the reason why you want to do that. Because they say, what's there? Why should I do anything for other people? I said, it creates super happiness in you. So we want to celebrate that super happiness, what we have done, what we feel, and that's the invitation I extend to you. And part of this conference will be devoted to academic world. Many universities around the world will be coming here, the faculty, the researchers, and so on. And hopefully some students from around the world could come because it's expensive to come here. But I hope you will be one of the nearest ones who can join us there in that celebration. Now going back, I was as enthusiastic as Milton Friedman was because I had my training, higher education in the States, in the US University. So as a part of the enthusiasm and the faculty I've gone through, made me very enthusiastic about what I learned. I thought I learned all the knowledge, I have received all the knowledge I need to tackle every single economic problem that I could find in front of me. In 1972, I decided to go back to my country. I was teaching in one of the universities in the US. I went back because Bangladesh became an independent country at the end of 1971 in a bloody confrontation with Pakistani army and all that. So we became an independent country, separating from Pakistan, called ourselves Bangladesh. And I was part of that movement to become independent. So as soon as it happened, I immediately tendered my resignation. I said, I'm going home. And I went back. And I joined the university there as the head of the department of economics. And I felt so good. And all the dreams will come true now. We have an independent country. Then I have some idea, some knowledge, economics. I know where to find others that I don't know. I can do something. But as such occasions takes place, when your enthusiasm, your dreams soon turn into nightmares. And that precisely happened in my case, in Bangladesh. Instead of Bangladesh moving up, it slided down very fast. In 1974, we had a famine in the country. People are dying everywhere. So it's not something, a sight that you want to be part of. While you're going to your classroom, you see dead bodies on the street. And dead body is not caused by any disease, caused by a very simple thing. They didn't have a handful of food to eat. And you stand in front of your class telling how brilliant economic theory is, how elegant those marvelous theories are. And your voice gradually mellowed down. If they are so good, how come you have dead bodies on the street? What happened to your theories? Is it because you don't know them? Or it is something else? Soon, after day, I started feeling smaller and smaller. Lost complete faith in what I teach. I came to the conclusion these are fake things, made up stories. This has nothing to do with real people. These are people with brilliant mind, made up all kinds of imaginary situations and called them economic theories. So I felt very bad, very depressed. I wasted my life learning something which is totally useless for people. And I've gone through that phase, that at one point trying to regain my strength by saying that forget about economics, that's a waste of time. But I have to do something. I can't just sit there and watch it. So one final thing that came to my mind, why don't I just go out and see if there's something that I can do? Economics never taught me what to do. So I have to find out what I can do. As a human being, maybe I can interact with another human being and see if I can stand beside him and beside her to see if I'm of some use to the other person. So that word, that word became very important to me. Can I be useful to somebody? If I'm not useful to anybody, not even one person, what is the use of my life? So I was trying to find the value of my life. What is it? So I was searching for the opportunity. Can I make myself useful to at least one person? At least one person a day. Luckily, university that I was teaching is next to the villages. It is built in the middle of villages around it. So it became very easy for me. All I have to do is to walk out of the boundary of the campus every day and be in the village, which is century-old village, extremely poor, just like any other village in Bangladesh. That poverty, if you describe it, it sounds horrible, but that's how the people live. So I would like to go there and see, during my afternoon, I can meet someone in the village to see if I can be some use to him or her. In the beginning, I was a stranger and no idea what this village is all about. And gradually I got to know people, they got to know me, became friendly. I got opportunities to see problem and see if I can do something. And gradually I feel again alive, that yes, now I'm back. I can do something. And I got very excited. Excited because I can do something. Tiny, tiny little things, insignificant things. At least I'm doing something. And after months, I look back and see, what did I learn in economics? It's supposed to be science for society, it's supposed to be social science. I never knew what the real people are. In the entire classroom teaching that I had no opportunity to interact with people. I don't know what people are. These are some kind of categories in your book. They react in a certain way and so on, and you make a story out of it. But the first time I see real people, real problem, and suddenly you feel they are not as insignificant as you thought from your bookish. They are real people, very creative, very energetic. They laugh, they cry, they say silly things. They are much more powerful than you thought. They are human beings. So gradually I got used to them, do little things. I'll skip all the things that I did. Just come to one issue, loan sharking in the village. People in the village lend money to other people in the village and grab everything from the other person who got the money. It's known as loan sharking. I knew about loan sharking, but I didn't know what it really means to people. What a horrible thing one individual does to another individual. Same village, same people. Grab everything, make them totally pauper. Just because you borrowed a few dollars or a few taka that you borrowed from them. So I felt terrible again. I cannot do anything. It happens, I hear every day what's going on. I cannot do anything. Again, blame myself. Why did I learn economics, which doesn't have even a single paragraph on loan sharking? I wanted to understand, but there's nothing. So what did I learn in economics if I don't see people suffer, not only in Bangladesh, it's all over Bangladesh, it's all over subcontinent, it's all over the world. Even the richest country in the world, you have the loan shark. They call themselves payday lenders, they call themselves beautiful names, but great. So I said, I don't understand why I have learned something that is not useful when I needed it. So I was thinking, how do I solve this problem? How do you protect the victim of the loan shark? I came up with an idea. I thought that should work. I can protect few people from the loan shark. I don't have any ambitious plan. I just wanted 1, 2, 3, 4 people, that's all. Why don't I lend the money myself? The idea is if I lend the money, the person will have to go to loan shark. So he or she cannot become a victim of the loan shark. I have protected the person by lending him money. And immediately I got into action. I started telling people, if you need money, come to me, I'll give the money. Don't go to loan shark. And people loved it. I became very popular. Everybody wants to talk to me, everybody wants to take money from me, and I got very happy, super happy. Because I see I can make people happy. Then soon, after a year or so, as I'm lending money out of my own pocket, whatever money I earned in the USA, this is the purpose, I see good purpose. And as I spend a year or so, I see my money is running out. Because it became so popular, everybody wants to borrow money. I'm giving everybody money. But I don't have enough to continue. So I thought about a solution. One solution is, can I create a tiny little bank for this village? I'm always thinking about that village. That village became my university. I learned so much from these people. I said, these are my real professors. They are teaching me what life is, what needs to be done, what works, what doesn't work. I'm so grateful to them. So, I thought about a bank. After a long story short, finally got this bank done, approved by the government. Called it Grameen Bank or Village Bank. And started lending money. Now that I'm becoming a bank, it's become easy. I take the deposit, lend the money to the people. I don't need to bring money from my pocket. I solved it. It continued and continued. It became a nationwide bank. Everybody needed money. And I focused on women. That is the most difficult part of my work. Destitute women. I bring this service to women. If you want to borrow money, here it is. In a combined way, they rejected us. No, we don't want the money. We are afraid of money. Give it to my husband. He said, no, not your husband, I'm going to give it to you. It was a big struggle to persuade women to take money. All I wanted to do, 50% of the borrowers in my bank must be women. Because I was criticizing the banking system in Bangladesh. I'm saying in every opportunity I get, the system is wrong, it's wrongly designed. It is good in rejection rather than providing service. Very few people in Bangladesh qualify to borrow money from them. Others are rejected. Why? They are poor. They say they are not creditworthy. When I try to press them why they are not doing it, they are not creditworthy. I heard it so many times, explanation, they are not creditworthy. I counterattack them. I tell them, should you tell them that they are not creditworthy? Or should they tell you that you are not people-worthy? Who is the judge? This is a simple reason that you don't know how, you don't want to serve them. And then you blame the other people. Look, what I'm doing is working. They pay every penny that I lend money to, lend them to. Never fail. No papers, nothing. And we continue this debate and say, you not only don't lend money to poor people, you don't lend money to women of any category. Even she's the richest woman, you don't lend money. Because she's a woman. So I made sure, when I began, half the borrowers in my work must be women. As an answer to that. So that nobody can accuse me for this. That was a hard task. It took us 6 years to come to the level of 50-50. We celebrated it. Finally, we made it. Everybody said it's impossible to give money to poor people. It is more impossible to lend money to poor women. And we did both. Then we start noticing money going to the family through women. Making so much more impact in the family compared to the impact it makes when the borrower is a man. Same amount of money going to the family through men, through women, makes such a big difference. I'm taking my girls to everything that I'm with my students, nobody from outside. Me and my students, that's what we do. I couldn't talk to the women because I'm a man, so I take my girls students to do the talking to them. So once we saw that it works better with women, we said, let's focus on women, forget about men. And we became 97% women. Yes, 97%. We stayed there, we could have 100%, we said, no, let's leave some men. So that people can compare what I'm doing. Today, Bangladesh, Grameen Bank has over 9 million borrowers, 97% women, they own the bank. People always ask me, how do you design this thing? Everybody said it cannot be done. You're doing day after day, you're doing the whole nationwide, millions of people, tiny money, still people benefit so much. I said, you know why it works? because I never took a course in banking. If I had ever taken that course in banking, I would never be able to do grammar. Because my mind will be always yelling behind me, you can't do that. You have to do this way. Since I didn't know anything about banking, I could do anything I want. And I realized sometimes not knowing is a blessing. Because you are free. Nobody has contaminated your mind. All the difficulties in the world today is that contamination. And the university is the factory of contamination. All the wrong thinking is pushed onto young people to see in a wrong way. Our eyes are blinded by universities. We can't see in a clear way. So that's the problem. We have to be very careful what the university is all about. Just because you learn in the university doesn't mean that's the truth. It is not. Luckily, I abandoned it early in my life. Ever since, I never go back. And I continued on that path. The second thing, it happened because I made it very simple. Life is such a simple thing. Academicians made it complicated. Life is very simple. But that doesn't bring any glory to the academicians, if you say the simple thing. You have to say in a very complicated way, the complex matter, you have to do that. The real thing is very simple. I said, the way I did banking is again a simple way. Since I don't know anything about banking, whenever I face a problem about a policy, about action, I look at the conventional banks, how they do it. Once I learn how they do it, I just do the opposite. And it works. They go to the rich, I go to the poor. They go to the city, I go to the village. They go to men, I go to women. They go for their lawyers, I say forget about lawyers. Entire Grameen Bank, there is no lawyer at all. It's a completely lawyer-free bank. You cannot think about a lawyer-free bank in the world, but we still do the same thing. We now run a whole banking program in the United States, very elaborate program, called it Grameen America. We work in 15 cities, New York, Los Angeles, San Francisco, Miami, 150,000 borrowers in the last 10 years. All women, 100% women. We have given billions of dollars in loan. Startup loan is $100,000. The entire operation, there's no lawyers. People get shocked. You give billions of dollars, no papers, no lawyers. Can you sleep at night? I said, I'm very possible. I worry about my banker friends who are losing sleep on me. Worrying about me. See, that's it. The knowledge is something different. People are so powerful, we forgot that. We thought our rules are the important. Rules are not powerful. People make up the thing on their own. So that's an issue that I have been struggling. Besides that, I started creating many other things. I came to conclusion after conclusions. One conclusion I think very quickly, people kind of push me everywhere I go. People ask me this question: what is the reason of poverty? So I have to answer that question. Because it's very simple. Poverty, always remember, poverty is not created by the poor. So if you're looking for the cause of poverty, you don't have to look at them. Poverty is created by the system we created. All the concepts, all the theories, what we created, that caused the poverty. Because we designed it wrong way. And they are the sufferers. You are the big authors. You wrote it and we suffered. You change the system, everybody will come out of poverty. I give the example, I said, look at this whole banking system. Who told them that they cannot lend money to the poor? As a result, half the population of the entire world is deprived from financial services. Even today, after all the macro credit, all the glory, all the Nobel Prize, banks don't change their mind. Why? All those big banks in New York City, and all those borrowers underneath those big tall buildings, they never get any penny out of those banks. They are the world's capital of banking. And now we do the microcredit there, we do the Grameen Bank, everybody gets the money. I said, ask those banks why they don't give the money. They said, of course they don't have the collateral, how can we do? I said, we don't have the collateral too. Why can't you do it? Why don't you see what we do? Oh, it's not comfortable, we don't know what happens to the money. I said, it's very comfortable. We have no problem about 10 years. We know exactly what will happen. So this is the story of life for everything. Then I tried to address the problem of housing. People literally have no house in the village. They live under the leaves in the most primitive way. They live in the house of jute sticks, most flimsiest thing that you can ever get. And Bangladesh is a monsoon country. It rains, pouring rains. And people literally live in muds. It feels so sad. Their children growing up in the muds. One of the first things we did, we started the housing program. We turned into a business. Give them a loan, and we provide all the housing materials. We produce those simple housing materials in the village. Sell it to them. So our housing program became a separate business because we are producing those things for them. So we can elaborate production units, village after village. And people pay every penny back. So we built thousands and thousands of houses. $300 housing loan. People don't believe, can you build $300 houses? I said, ask someone who lives in a dollar house. $300 is a lot of money. Compared to the old house, the new house is a palace. And the poor out their heart to make those houses. Then we built toilets. There's no toilet in the villages. Not a single toilet. Whether rich people, poor people, doesn't matter. All go out in the open. We started saying, no, that's not a good thing. It breeds diseases everywhere. So we said, everybody must have a toilet. So we started toilet production program and toilet loan program. Bank gives the loan, production company provides a toilet, you pay them, they give you the toilet. It's all belong to us. So now everybody has a toilet. And deal is, you pay tiny little money every week. Over years and years, how many years do you take to pay back? So you pay tiny little money, penny for your toilet. So this nothing is free. So we created business after business. We created solar energy company because there is no electricity in the village. It's kerosene lamp. I said, forget about kerosene lamp. We give you solar energy. We say, how much money you spend on kerosene? They say, X amount a month. Okay, you give that money to me, I give you electricity. Like you just pay me every month, whatever money you spend on kerosene, and I give you electricity. And I talk to the solar people, all the experts in our universities. They say, no, solar will not work in Bangladesh. So why not? It's very complicated. I said, I'm not a scientist to know. You learn the complicated thing. You just tell me, I plug in, I get the electricity. That's all I want to know. Oh, it's not that easy. I said, I'll make it easy. You need a panel? Say, I'll buy the panel. How panel works, I don't have to know. As long as it doesn't work. And I get a battery. I connect it. I collect the sunshine, I convert it, I get electricity. That's it. And I started selling those solar home systems. Initially, people were reluctant, they don't know what I said. You just give us oil money, kerosene money. That's it. It became very popular. It became a nationwide company. We have more than 4 million homes with solar energy right now. And we do. Is it a business where everybody is paid? Nothing is free. So that brought me to another one. What is business? People say, this is not in your business, not a business. I said, why not? I said, your business is not a business. You're stealing money from people by calling them business. So there is a controversy. So I started explaining by saying this is a business not to make money. You do business to make money. I do the opposite. And solve people's problem. People know that I'm not here to make money out of them. I'm here to solve their problem in a business way. Why did I do it in a business way? Because I didn't rely on the charity. Charity is a wonderful thing, but it only works in a limited way. The charity money goes, does the work, wonderful work, but the money doesn't come back. So your charity money works only once. You cannot reuse it again. So I created a business model. I took the objective of charity, put a business engine behind it. So you take the electricity, but you have to pay per month. Same money you already spent, nothing new. People will gladly accept that. So I have a business model now. Because I cover all the costs. Every penny of the cost, I cover that. I don't get anything free. People love it. It's affordable, it's very simple, transparent. So I created one after. We have a digital healthcare system to serve even the remotest person. We have hospitals, after several hospitals, to bring eye care system to people, cataract operation and so on, or sustainable. But not making charges extra to make money for myself or somebody. Suddenly it opens up the whole thing. I said, the whole economic theory went wrong by defining human being as a wrong way, in a wrong way. The defined human being is someone who is driven by self-interest. What a shame. A human being is someone who is driven by self-interest. I said, that's a very artificial person that you have defined, economic person. The real person is completely different. Real person is driven by many other things. Real person is driven by self-interest as well as collective interest, social interest. You cut off all the social things from your economics. This is a selfish economics, what you call it. So you call economics a social science? There's no social dimension in it. This is strange. And you glorify it as social science. There's nothing social. This could be a business science. Okay, you create a business science. Not a social science. You're not worried about poverty. You're not worried about people's life. You're not worried about their enthusiastic about their creative capacity and so on. So dismiss that. So their social business comes in. Now I see it's flourishing. That's what we'll be celebrating here, social business in Unity. And we make all the 9 million people coming forward, they're all illiterate. Cannot read, cannot write. Early on, when we were a small bank, we decided we'll take all their children, make sure every child in the Tamil family is educated. So it's a big task. But we took as a responsibility to make sure every child goes to school. Our staff of the bank is responsible for every child. So they went to school, they enjoyed it, and we gave a scholarship for the very successful one who were topping the classes. They might be poor family, but they're topping the classes. We celebrate them, give them scholarships. And now our new generation, second generation came out of them with education. Some went to go to PhD, some went to become lecturers, teachers, foreign degrees, out of those illiterate poor families, dirt poor families. So there's no difference between people born in poor families and people born in rich families. They have the same results. They are as creative, as enthusiastic as anybody else, provided opportunities are given. I said, this is all gaining opportunity. You took away all the opportunities from them, locked them up into a situation. You call them poor and feel pity for them. Nothing to feel pity for. That's as powerful as even anybody else. But something, a difficulty arose. It's two young people coming out of the college, university, they keep complaining to me, why did you send us to university? There's no job in the country. Bangladesh doesn't have jobs. started thinking, how do you answer this question? Then I came back to them. I told them, why are you looking for jobs? They don't answer. So it's a silly question. Why do you ask that question? I said, I'm asking, did your teacher tell you to have a job? Did your book tell you to job? Where did this idea of job come from? They're puzzled. They don't look blank. I said, look, next time that before you start thinking about job, tell yourself and repeat to yourself again and again so that it gets into your head. I'm not a job seeker, I'm a job creator. I'm an entrepreneur. Every morning you wake up, you say that several times. When you start feeling that you're an entrepreneur, you feel different. You feel tall. If you feel like a job seeker, you feel small. You are at the mercy of the world. They look at me, they don't have any answer. What does it mean? I need a job, he says, give me a lecture. Then they say, well, I don't have the money, how do I start a business? Somebody says, in our school, they never taught me how to start a business. They taught me physics, geography, history, lots of things, but never taught me how to start a business. How do I start a business? I said, you are a son, you are a daughter of Grameen Bank borrower. Ask your mother. Your mother is an illiterate person. She lives in a remote village. She never left the boundary of her village in her life. She would not seen light at all. She, 20 years back, 30 years back, she stood up in that village. She said, give me $20. I want to start a business. She had the courage to say so and justify her proposal by elaborating how she will make money. And they gave her the money. And he started the business. Ever since, she has every year taken new loans, bigger loans, and that's it. And that's why you're born. Who taught your mother? You're saying nobody taught you. I said, who taught your mother? I said, do you know what is the difference between you and your mother? Your mother is a natural human being. No teacher contaminated her mind. She taught the way she thinks as a human being. She has a problem, here she has to solve it. If you get this, solution becomes easy. So look for it and wait for that. Human beings are born as a problem solver. Not do the thing, repetitive job for somebody. That's not a human activity. Human activity is a creation. Every human being is packed with unlimited creative capacity. Give them the opportunity to unleash the creativity. And give them the opportunity to know herself. That is the job of education, to know who I am, what power I have inside of me. And that's education. I said, go back to your mother, learn from her. And because you are already artificial human being, that's why you worry about everything. Your mother didn't do that. She was worried for nature of things, but not how do I do it. That was not her worry. Your schooling made you into artificial being. So all you can do with your education is to take orders for somebody to carry out that thing. That's not a human thing. Your artificial, being an artificial being, taking a job, you lost all your creative power. Job is the end of creativity. So you are pushed into a completely different life. You started as a human being, as a creative being. Now, by the time you started your life, you ended up with some kind of blunt person who just know how to do, take orders and carry it out. That's not human. So on the other side, we said we have created a social business venture capital. You come and join us. If you have a business idea, you invest in your business. We become your partner. Don't even worry about it. So now they are coming in hundreds and thousands every month with business ideas and keep on investing in them. So we have thousands and thousands of young people every month becoming entrepreneurs by themselves. Said economics taught, no, entrepreneurs are very rare kind of people, very special kind of people. We study their life stories. I said, if you have to read their life stories, you have to seen the life stories of billions of people. We are all entrepreneurs. They got the chance, we didn't get the chance. There's no bank, no financial institution anywhere in the world will finance an unemployed young person who doesn't come from a rich family or other. He has a bright idea. Give me the loan, give me the money, give me the investment. Nobody will do that. That's where it went wrong. So we have to fix all those things. If we fix all those things, we have a different world. So that's a continuous process that we have been going through. Challenging that we can create a new world. I describe my new world the way I imagine. It's a world with 3 zeros. 0 poverty, 0 unemployment, 0 net contribution. We can build it. And I give the task to the young people because you are still fresh. Nobody has contaminated your mind yet completely. Still you have a chance. So I'll finish by saying what I tried to do. I said, first feel you have enormous power in yourself. If you feel, hey, not quite clear, how do I have power? I said, let me give you, by describing, you are the most powerful generation in entire human history. Does it make sense to you? Because no other generation in human history has so much power, the technology in your hand. That technology can change our world if you use it. But you're not using it. You're learning it so that you can get a job. That's the end of it. That power, if you feel that, what I'm saying, if you feel, tonight you think about it, I'm the most powerful human being on this planet. Whatever power I have, what use I'm going to make of it? That's the question I leave with you. You have the power. You ask yourself, what use you want to make of this power? You yourself can change the whole entire world. You don't need anybody else. You don't have to wait for the government or your friend or something. You have that power to change the world. Changing the world is an idea that doesn't cost you anything. That idea can transform. Just to give an example from my own experience, I didn't think about that way about the microcredit, lending money. Everybody thought it's impossible and so on. And I was not sure either. I was just doing it because I thought I would be helpful to somebody. But it worked. And it spread all world overnight. Every single country has that. Even Germany has that. So that's just an idea. So everything is about idea. Use that idea, and you have the power to transmit, communicate, and such whatever you do. But if you go for the job, that's it. Your company will make lots of money, you will have a promotion, you will retire with a big retirement package. That's it. Nothing to do with the world. So that's the challenge we have to face, because the world in a disaster path will be extinct in a few years. That's the direction we're going. And you are the one who can turn around the world, go to the right path. The old path that we take today will take you to the old destination of disaster. If you want to go to the new destination, which you must, we have to build new roads. That's where you're responsible. Build those new roads. And building roads is not difficult. It's just a thinking process. You think about it, it will happen. Always remember, nothing is impossible for a human being. If you make up your mind, it will happen. Thank you very much. These are two different directions. If you want to make money out of your business, you will design it in one way. If you want to solve the problem of the people, you will design it another way. Because the same package will not do both. To give an example, I want to provide healthcare to people. I have three options. I can make a big money-making company as a hospital. I make lots of money by treating people. There is a legitimate thing to serve them. People like it. My clients are very rich clients. They are willing to pay all the facilities that I give them. And I do that. That's one option. Other option is I can make a social business healthcare program, a hospital, so say a hospital. I want to make sure I can treat the poorest person first and then go for the other people, because they are the people who are missing out in healthcare. So I make a healthcare system in such a way so that I cover my cost, but I make it affordable to the people. So there's no gimmicks, no fancy things, very straightforward things. I make it easy for them because all the cost has to be borne for them. Every time I use a dollar for something, I have to be careful that dollar has to be paid by some poor person. So can I make it 50 cents instead of $1? So I'll be very careful what I spend. And then I have a social business healthcare hospital. Or I can make a charity hospital. Free. You come, I take care of it. And my preference is poor people, but other people come, I also treat them. Nobody has to pay. So every year I have to bring fresh money to run it. So the option you decide. So whether you say these are compatible, they're not alike at all. They're very different kind of thing. Very design is different. Very service is different. The way you do that. You don't prescribe expensive medicine because that's not what your purpose is. You see what is the cheapest and good medicine. Sometimes you don't need medicine. You tell them that you don't need it, but you have to practice this, you have to physical exercise. It's not the medicine not cure you, your lifestyle has to change. Maybe you are suffering from obesity. Many poor people are obese. I see it in the US all the time. They themselves are obese, their children are obese, they drink Coca-Cola all the time, among many things. Fast food, etc. is mine. My phone never rings, but this one does. Good, stop. Yeah, so that's the difference. So you have to design it is very important. Yeah. That's where each one is different. It's not the same thing.
So moving forward, we've talked about social businesses now, but the topic of your speech was actually how do we unleash social consciousness in all businesses? How can, let's say, multinational companies become more social and sustainable enterprises?
You see, people, those who run those multinational companies, they're not born in a special kind of situation that they are all going to run. They're just like us, everybody. Went to the same school, but they chose it. So whatever feeling we have about life, about people, about the institutions, about the distrust and the trust and all that, they follow the same thing. When they see what we're doing, makes sense to them, and they can do something about it. They come forward. Can I talk to you about a social business? I said, yes, please do that. Can we do a social business? Are you sure we can do that? Of course we can do that. So we start from there. Most of the multinational companies who did the social business now, not a single one of them I knew about. I had no idea who they were. They approached me of their own initiative because they want to do something because they're feeling missing out. And that's what Danone did, that's what my Technical did, that's what Veolia did, that's what Uniqlo did, that's what McCain did. They're all big companies. But they came forward to start social business. So I say the same people, simply just because they run multinational companies, they are not bad people. But they run an institution which is a bad institution. The only thing they do is to find ways how to make more money. Whether people need it or not, they make you believe you need it. Your life is not worthwhile unless you use this, unless you wear it, unless you do this, unless you eat it. They keep drilling in your mind. You don't need it. But still you have to do that. So that's something coming, just making money. That's the only purpose is make money. They said smoking is good. It makes you feel happy. They sell you poison. You still don't sell billions of dollars of cigarettes. After all this campaign and so on. Alcohol, they say you feel good. So many other things along the way. Fast food, syrupy drinks, these are bad for health.
So you've mentioned Danone actually as a multinational firm that you have partnered with. And you partnered with them on a project to supply poor children in Bangladesh with nutrient-infused yogurt. So regarding the supply of essential resources such as nutrients or also clean water, do you have any concerns that multinationals will overtake the role that a government should be taking on?
I don't know which way. Multinationals have their way, try to overpower the government so that they can get through without any trouble. I don't think multinationals want to run your police force or your transportation system. So they're not, because they're not interested. Probably if they're interested, they will manipulate, they will find a way to do things. If they're totally mindless CEOs sitting there, if you're having any kind of feeling of responsibility, they may not be doing that. So they are not, I don't think they're aiming to replace government. Having government is good for them so that they can manipulate them.
Okay, so maybe going back actually to your keynote, simply put, you are advocating a substantial restructure of the business world. Here today we have a room full of individuals, and you said that especially the young are responsible to initiate change, especially given the recent technologies that we have. So what should a university like TUM enforce to enable possibilities regarding the pursuit of social entrepreneurship especially?
One simple thing I encourage TUM to do is to introduce courses on social business so that people know what it is. Here I am talking about a few minutes and that's it. But you want to understand, compared to the conventional economics that I teach, where is it different? Where does it go in a different way? Which would make more sense to me as a person. As a student, I'm trying to understand which is the right thing for me, which one I would like. So that my life will be directed in the direction where I like. Not something what book says it has to be this, and I have to follow because there's no other option. And in my case, every time I violated everything. I didn't follow, I violated. I said, this is business? No, that's not business. This is the business. This is banking? I said, no, that's not banking. This is banking. So I created one to make it. Everybody can do that. Your first round of thing may not be perfect, but it's a working model. Then you refine it and improve it and say, this one is working. After all, it's our life. It's not a game that I play. It's my life, my family, and my children, my future generations, and the planet as a whole. So why should I play a game with it? It's something has to be genuine about it. That I have an objective of my life, what I want to do, what I want to be. And I've related to every day what I do. It should be consistent with each other.
Okay, so you also again just spoke about you having a very different approach when you founded the Grameen Bank and the microcredit system. And actually, to talk more about microcredits, they have been proven to be quite successful in terms of their repayment rates, which are, correct me if I'm wrong, 95%. What are the reasons behind that? Before you mentioned a lot of the credits going to women, is it that, or maybe because of the group lending concept that you use?
I would say it's all together. We do it in a certain way. People copy it in a way called Grameen system. But that doesn't mean that everybody has to limit it to that. Somebody said, look, you don't need group anymore. You did it, it's good, but now you can dispense with group. It's okay. Somebody says, well, you need 3 wheels to drive so that you can have a balance. And somebody says, no, I can do it in 2 wheels. Then suddenly he shows he can do it 2 wheels. So somebody says, no, I don't need 2 wheels, I can do it 1 wheel. That's how it progresses. Just because we design it in a certain way doesn't mean it has to remain that way. We open the door to the idea that everybody is capable of handling financial services. They will say they are not credit worthy. I said, no, that's not it. You are the one who made it wrong because you have not designed it right for them. So designing is opening up. If you open it up, now everything's learning process we create. One after we improve our thing, we make it easy, simpler, easier, less costly. That's the purpose.
Your approach to founding Burmese Bank, but also a lot of your other social businesses, can also be described as a grassroots approach. On the contrary, there are many countries which employ a more top-down approach, for which China may be a very prominent example. China is at the same time also seen as a poster child for successful development. What is your view on this approach to economic growth, and to what extent do the people in rural areas actually profit from it?
But I'll say that in my work, what I highlight, individual is the power. Individuals have unlimited capacity, unlimited creative capacity. So whatever we try to do to help them use that creative capacity will solve the problem. You don't have to solve the problem. You help the person to unleash that energy so that they can solve the problem. This is one way to do that. And build the appropriate kind of structures to make it happen, easier to happen. You talk about China. China is following the capitalist path, trying to follow everything the West is doing. As a result, this is a communist country. It's supposed to be equal, all the citizens are supposed to be equal, and distribution of wealth is equitable. But they're facing gradually more and more strange problem. The number of billionaires keep rising every year. Last year it doubled ever since the billionaires started happening in the last 10 years. Now in 1 year it doubled. This year God knows how many. And soon, now this number 2 in terms of number of billionaires in the world after the United States. And I think next year or year next, they will be the highest in the world in terms of billionaires. So there's a kind of discomfort with their political philosophy or equity and or equality and so on. Now having unequal society. So they are trying to find a way to overcome that. So they allow the capitalism to happen, and bad things about capitalism is also entering into their society and creating tension in the society. What to do? So they are not comfortable with what is happening.
Okay, so how do you believe that this development of unequal wealth concentration, not just in China, can be changed?
Everywhere. It's a concentration. It's a disgusting way. It's a kind of ugly way it's happening. All the wealth belongs to a few people. That cannot be a system. It's a mockery of a system. We talk about economic system, this is a mockery, but all the wealth goes in. You have no idea how to restrain it, how to slow it down, how to reverse the whole process. You have no idea. So you have created a system which you have no control over. It does all the damaging thing that you never do. This concentration of whatever, and about the environmental. This is all creation of the business. So you have no idea how you destroyed the whole world because you wanted to make money. How do you address that? So we are, in our experience, we see all the things that we have learned, not because we're designing a system. We needed to do something, we did it. When we were building the toilets, we're not thinking about having social business as an idea. It's not appear. We did the action first. We're describing it later. This is what we did. And we look back, this looks like a different kind of business. At that time, we had no idea what we're doing. We're busy solving the problem. And now we're looking back, it may have more significance than we thought at that time. Now, one significance is the way I define the social business. If all businesses in the world become social business, in a kind of theoretical way, will there be wealth concentration? The answer is no. Because nobody takes any money out of the business. If I don't take profit out of the business, how can I wealth catch up? That I cannot, I have, well, I don't have that because I run the business and money circulates within the business. I don't take it. So, to say, can it be solved? Of course it can be solved. Theoretically, if you become all social businesses, it's solved. Suppose all don't want to be social business. Some say, well, we will have conventional business, money-making business also. Suppose now half and half. Half are social business, half are conventional business. Will there be concentration? Yes, some. But not as ugly as it is now. Because half the people, all the wealth generated within social business remain in business. And they are busy solving problems. And others, they have some. So this will be the amount doing that. So you now decide whether you continue this way or you want to and expand the envelope of social business. This is one. Another one. If all people in the world, as I was saying, all people are born as entrepreneurs. If all people become entrepreneurs, again hypothetical question. Will there be will there be wealth concentration? No. For the simple reason, I don't work for you. If I don't work for you, you cannot be a billionaire. Because we are all entrepreneurs, so why should I work for you? So I catch my own wealth. He catches his wealth, she catches her wealth. So everybody catches. So nobody is coming to you to work for you. If you don't work for somebody, he cannot be one the supreme lord of wealth. It's finished. If you all become entrepreneurs. Again, you can say, if half become entrepreneurs, half do not, so wealth concentration will be less. So in a society, half are social business, half are not. In a society where half are entrepreneurs, half are not, wealth concentration disappears. It's all what we want to do. It's not government legislation. You must do this, you must. That's not it. You and I decide what is the purpose of my life. How do I want to grow up, and what is it that when I am done, I say goodbye to this world, what do I want to see left behind? I put a signature behind this. I was here from year such and such to year such and such. This is what I did. And I feel happy that I did what I wanted to do. Not everything, but most of it I've done.
Well, thank you, Professor Yunus. Unfortunately, we are running out of time, but before I hand the discussion over to the audience, I just want to ask one last question, which I am sure many of my fellow TUM students here today are also curious about. Here at TUM, many students strive towards being entrepreneurs and are aiming at founding their own businesses or have already done so. So in pursuing this, is there a possibility to combine both financial success and the success of solving social issues?
Let me put it this way. If you want to make money only, your whole idea, concentration is about how to make more money. You have no time to think about social issues. So social issues will be downgraded. In the beginning, you want to do both. In a spectrum, it's all about making money, all about helping people or solving people's problems. This is the spectrum. Here is 100% profit, this is a 0% profit. In between, lots of combination. 99% profit, 1% social, 50% profit, 50% social, 99% social, 1% profit. That's a spectrum. You started in one end saying, I want to make money, 100% profit. So you have no room for it. You'll do some social good accidental. That was not intention, but people benefited somehow. But your purpose was this. You say, no, I'm doing good. People say, every business is a social business. I said, why? Because they do good for people. They sell things they need. I said, well, that you are extending your theory too much. Your intention was not to help them because I sell food. People eat it. They said, I'm doing good. That was not the intention. Intention is, I sell this and you buy it. And you buy it because you need it. So to say that because they eat the food and they have good health is my contribution, it's not your contribution. Your contribution is limited to making money, that's all. So you can now, you say deliberately, you say, I don't want 100% profit, I want 95% profit, 5% social. So I reduce my profit expectation. Then you can do a little bit. But if your intention is making money, most likely over years, you will not make 95% to go down to 90%. You will rather from 90% you go to 100%. Because your mind is packed with profit idea. So you thought, why did I give up 5%? I could have done it. So your kind of tendency will be towards going back to the original 100%. So just when we are in 0% profit, I'm free. Nobody can take me away. If I do it, immediately I'll be detected. You're making profit. If you move from 95% to 90%, nobody will notice what you have done inside. So you'll easily kind of slide away to the other side. So I would say it's difficult. That's what I'm saying. But some people claim and call them social enterprise. And they say it's a mixture of social and profit. I said that sounds good, but when it's a mixture, you're not saying it is 50-50. Is it 95 and 5? It is 10 and 90. You don't say that. So you can hide under it and make money. So it's not a dependable kind of description, mixing social and profit. It's a good way, go all the way, 100% social. I've got rid of all the profit idea. And my books will show every time. There's not a penny I've taken out of my business. That's it.
Well, thank you, Professor Yunus.
Thank you. The first thing I would say that why men has to decide that. You give the impression they hold the strings. Why should they? They're as good as any other human being, so it's between you and the other woman. You will not decide how much she gets. She decides how much she wants, how much she can control. She has to earn it by herself. And if she points it out, you may feel ashamed of what you have done. But definitely it's not a charity work that I give it away to them. You feel that your role should be such and such, and you continue to fix yourself, rather than keep the impression that I have given it to you. So that I don't think is a good idea, to give the impression that I'm giving. A man has to give it. I have to take it. Yeah.
Can I ask one more question?
Go ahead. Yeah. It's a quick one.
Success is very subjective, and the world looks towards you, Professor Yunus, as being a very successful man. Would you think that you've lived a successful life?
Wow, that's big judgment. I don't know. I do whatever I have to do. I do. I don't kind of add up and measure whatever. And all the way, I would say it was fun all along. It was a very, very tough job. Lots of criticism, lots of attack from every direction you can think about. The religious direction, political direction, directions from many sides. But you have to stand up and continue with that. But along that, facing all those adversities, but it's fun to do that. And that's why when you define social business, there are 7 principles of social business. And number 7 principle is do it with joy. So we want to pack up that joy part, integrate it into this. You have to feel good about it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, let's see here.
So, as you mentioned, entrepreneurs are problem solvers, right? And you started from an environment where you could solve the problem by giving poor people a little money, and lots of them, which is very admirable. But here in Europe, I feel like the problems are very different. So how to create a social business, I think it's not the solution to go to those countries and kind of try to change something. Maybe help the people to understand what they can do, but from our perspective, what would you suggest?
Yeah. I see it in 2 different ways, your question. Probably you meant microcredit in your mind, not the social business as a broad thing. I was given the example of Grameen America. We do it in the United States. So, and nobody felt that it's something unusual. We went there and people said, are you crazy doing microcredit in the United States? Nobody needs money, $5, $10. I said, in the US says, times it may not be $5, $50, maybe $1,000, $2,000. That's it. But there is very small money. And that's what we've done. We have done to people that I'm mentioning 150,000 borrowers in America, 100% women. 60% of the borrowers of TUM in America are undocumented. They have no papers. Living in Trump United States without papers, you're waiting for death sentence every day. You never know when you'll be thrown out. But they do it very comfortably. They do it in their work. They work very hard. And we give them the money not to the poor people. We give money to the poor women without any documents, who can be thrown out any day and our money is gone. And still we work it. So everything will tell you, no, that's not the kind of business you want to do. I said, that's the kind of business we want to do. Because everybody says it cannot be done, we have fun when we do it. So you have to, when you see that it cannot be done, your idea came, it cannot be done. This is a fun thing to do. You should do it in Germany, right here in Munich. It can be done. Everybody told me, Bangladesh is a different story. You are this year coming to the United States. Do you have any idea what it is? I have some idea. You think you can do it? I think I can try it. If it works. So, difficulty is something comes from your background. The way you see, the way you experience. This is the baggage that we get. You have to get rid of the baggage. See differently. Try it. Maybe the first time you didn't work. You said, everybody said, didn't I tell you it don't work? It shouldn't stop it. It makes it more stop. I do it the other way. I entered it this way, now I have to enter it this way. That's how things are done. Just because I failed in my first trial doesn't mean that cannot be done. Many people gave their life trying to fly. Remember those things? But they didn't give up. And finally they flew. Flew into unheard things. That's human history. That's why I was saying nothing is impossible for a human being. It's a question of making up your mind. If you make up your mind, it will happen.
Thank you for the inspirational talk. My name is Rehman. In a world of academics where everything is right or wrong, and the trying is not encouraged, there is no, a professor, we can't say, can you do the homework? We'll try. It doesn't work that way. How do we encourage ourselves to try more, fail more, and how do we do that? And what can we do to promote Drumming Bank or your whole philosophy to spread out around the globe?
I'm glad you asked a question within a university. In the country. University is the place to try it out. The new ideas to be born here, not on the street. The university is a place where you introduce the young people with the old ideas and things, which has happened, which is very important to know what happened. That doesn't mean you carry that on. You challenge it, you destroy it. That's our job. University's job is to destroy old things and build new, better. So he said, they don't give any scope. University is a place where you give a scope. You have a craziest idea you ever heard. University says, welcome, try it out. This is the place. If you don't do that, nothing new will happen. It happens because we keep the flexible. The craziest professor is accommodated with the university. He says funny things. Nobody believes what he says. But we accommodate him. Because maybe he is the right one, everybody else is the wrong one.
Where is this university again?
Anywhere. Maybe this is the one. That's how the university should be moving and allowing things to happen, try it out, exercise it. That's why we have the labs. Like she said, it cannot be done in Munich, for example. Then we say, you get together. Let's create one in Munich. Have a start program. As a trial. Design something, do it. And if it fails, batch 2000 failed. 2001 says we can do that. 2021 says we can do that. So the class of 2021 made it happen. That's it.
So unfortunately we've run out of time, but thank you so much, Professor Yunus, for answering all our questions. I believe I can speak in the name of the entire audience that it has been a pleasure to have you here at TUM. I would like to give the last word to Dr. Prof.
Yeah, just some final words.
Thank you.
Dear Professor Yunus.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I am now Honorary Consul General for your country, Bangladesh, since 20 years, and I think we met the first time 20 years ago.
That's right.
So we know each other since that time. And I heard what you're saying so many times, but it's always exciting, and it's always fantastic. So, you know, my main profession is a lawyer, so I disagree with you.
I knew that.
You don't need lawyers in the business. That's wrong. But apart from that, I fully agree with that. And the final word I want to say, since I am representing your country in southern Germany, always the Bangladeshi ambassadors tell their consuls, bring something to the public which is positive about Bangladesh. Because Bangladesh in the news is always related with disasters, it's flooding, it's corruption, it's plants collapsing, and it's always things. You are one of the few examples which are positive.
Thank you so much. Thank you.